What's going on, we gamers? Here we are back with some more Aliens Fireteam Elite, and today I'm going to be going over the challenge cards that I believe can help you the most if you're trying to do those higher difficulty settings such as the Intense, Extreme, or if you're crazy enough to try Insane. So if you want to know how to make things a little bit easier for yourself, then stay tuned, that's coming up next. Welcome back, all you guys and girls. As always, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox. And why not hit that subscribe and bell icon? I'll bring you all the latest and greatest hints, tips and guides, and just some fun builds and gameplay of the latest games. But for today I'm here to show you that there is a little bit of hope. There is a chance on some of these settings, even though it's still going to be very difficult, to kind of make things a little bit easier for yourself. Now, just in case you don't know, but if you are trying these settings, I will almost guarantee you do. If you do want to get some cards, the easiest way is to build up your script, go to the armory and have a little look at this fella's cards. You're going to go down there and you're going to pick yourself some packs. As you can see, I have basically spent all of my resources doing this for this video. But there we have it, 3 of those are netted from 150 script. If you want to see which ones you've got, you pretty much just pop over to your inventory and make it all the way across. Oh, pressing the right thing would help, to your challenge cards. This is going to be all of the ones that you can use when you're going into those missions. And I would highly suggest when you're trying those late game missions, or should I say those high end missions, such as the Intense, the Extreme, or even, like I said, if you're crazy enough to try Insane, you're going to probably want cards on that will help you and buff you rather than giving you all those experience or credits, because by then you've probably got enough of everything in the game anyway, or you're just going to be able to kind of do them by putting it on an easier difficulty setting. Now, hands down, one thing to note, these cards will help you, but they still won't make the game easy. I would say as you level up, as you start to make it higher up in your rank, so 600, 650 and 700 and such, you're probably going to find that the Intense starts to be the happy medium for yourself. It's just difficult enough to give you a bit of a challenge, but it's not ridiculous like it was before. But if we go over to the campaign, as you can see, you've got all of these settings. So casual is just ridiculously easy. It's for people that aren't used to these type of games or are jumping in without knowing exactly what they're doing. Standard, I would say, is pretty perfect, bang on for when you first start the game. Intense, once you've leveled up a bit, seems to be about the standard for myself. Extreme starts to get difficult. I'm not going to lie, I struggle with these very much so, but they can be done. Insane, I have not even tried. I struggle with these Extreme, I really do. But if I was going to try these, I make sure that if I can, first things first, you have to be in a good team. The team work basically means whether or not you're going to complete these. If someone's shooting you in the back with a flamethrower, you're going to wipe at the start of the game. If someone is using a rocket launcher, you're probably not going to make it through. If your team is not very good and coordinated, I doubt if you'll make it on Extreme, and definitely won't make it on Insane. But like I said, the cards that you'll be looking for also tend to help an awful lot. Just one quick tip, I would honestly say for these high difficulties, you can probably do it with any kind of a party composition if you're good enough, but helping you out a lot would be probably having one doc or one recon, and having a gunner in your team really tends to help to focus fire those really tough armoured enemies. Other than that, you should be golden and pick the last ones you're on choosing, such as the Technician or the Demolisher. But I found having a gunner and having either a doc or a recon really tended to help in these really late game scenarios. Right, so I'm sure I've taken long enough for that when I haven't even started on the cards yet, but these are the cards that I find tend to help an awful lot. So first and foremost, this one right here. If you're managing to get through with teamwork, one thing you may struggle with if you haven't got a recon will be this one right here, your ammo consumption. This one gives you magazine size and maximum ammo count are doubled for all of your weapons, and that's Ammo Hoarder. You tend to come across these a little bit, they're an uncommon one, so it may well be worth holding on to all of these types of cards until you're trying those higher difficulties. Even if you're struggling on Intense, I'd probably say hold off if you want to be doing those later ones. But this is far from the best. If you've got a recon in your team, you can easily get away without this. And next up, and I'm going to go straight over to this blue one right here, the Extraordinary Weaponry, rare challenge card. your weapons deal 35% more damage. In team builds where you're focusing a lot on your weapon damage, such as the Demolisher for example with his smart gun, and obviously the Gunner, which will just absolutely ramp up the damage, this right here with a vulnerability drone attached as well is ridiculous. You will melt almost anything with a bit of focus fire and a little bit of teamwork. So if you think you're lacking in kind of a little bit of damage, or if you just want to try and nuke everything in front of you, this right here is the card to use. Obviously you still will struggle with health and such, and don't forget you're hitting harder, so probably don't hit each other. But other than that, with a bit of teamwork, this can really help to nuke those bosses and make things kind of mowed down before they even get you most times. Next up, and in the right builds, this can be really good. I definitely wouldn't recommend it on the latest settings, but probably on intense this one works just fine, and that's excessive force. Your weapons have 3 times the chance to stumble an enemy. If you're running the right weapon with a lot of stumble on it, this can really help you, and it can mean that you clear content a lot easier and faster than you normally would because things are stumbling all over the place. Really good. But again, I definitely wouldn't pick this for kind of the toughest settings, so if you're going after the insane, I would probably skip this one as it's not going to help you enough. There's just too much coming at you, and there's too much that's going to hit you too hard. Now next up, and an absolutely great one in certain playstyles, especially if you've got high cooldown builds on your character class's abilities. This right here, Superior Firepower, deals 50% more damage. Absolutely amazing with technicians, with gunners, anyone that's going to deal a lot of damage, this is the card for you and can really help out, like I said, in high cooldown builds. Obviously there are a lot of cards that I'm mentioning, so I would definitely say if you're trying to make it to endgame, save up your script rather than buying the kind of cosmetics and stuff early. Probably chuck it into those packs to try and get a lot of cards, and hold off on using them, saving them for those really difficult missions. But this Superior Firepower can be amazing if your team has high cooldown and if they have a few damage dealers with their skills in them, such as the Soldier's Grenade and of course the Technician's Turret. Also, as far as I'm aware, like I said, I haven't tried the last setting, but as far as I'm aware, skills don't actually affect any of your teammates, it's just the gunfire. So no matter how much damage you're dishing out with them, even if you're next to someone, you shouldn't be hurting your team, which is always an added bonus. Right, so for my top pick, and the one that definitely helps you on any of the settings, but I would say save this for after intense. If you're trying the last 2 difficulty settings, this card is invaluable and is pretty much a lifesaver. And that is this one just over here, the uncommon challenge card, Human Tanks. It may not sound like that much, but this right here is absolutely amazing. Your health is doubled. They hit you ridiculously hard. There's not as many health packs around. It's just really tough on late game settings. I have not even been able to put on any of these cards with multipliers because after intense you don't want any other kind of a hindrance. You just want to try and get through the actual mission and such. So for myself, I would say the number 1 card is this one right here. Double health is absolutely amazing in those late game settings, and it may mean the difference between taking a shot to the back or taking a facehugger to the face on a quick time event, whereas before you'd have fell over. Trust me, it's really hard to pick people up because you have less time. The main thing you want to do is to try and not fall over in the first place. For myself, Human Tanks, double your health is definitely the way forward for those tough settings. Keep hold of these, get your friends to keep hold of these, and when you're trying those extreme and the insane missions, even though they are still going to be ridiculously tough, this does give you a little bit more of a fighting chance. Well, you gamers, I hope that's helped a few of you out. It's just in case a few of you have been using those cards just to get through some of the earlier kind of content, I would say definitely hold off on them. Especially that last one, the one with the tankiness, the one with the double health. I would say that's one of the best ones in the game for kind of surviving and making your way through all of the content. So if you want a bit more of a chance and you want to kind of make it through those really tough missions, hold on to them, get your friends too, and chuck them all on once you're fully geared up. As always guys and girls, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox, take care, I'll see you all next day.